YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Virgo King 93 back in the motherfucking building with another motherfucking video. What's up, y'all? And guess what? If you don't know me, I'm the Thirst King, the thirstiest motherfucker in Los Angeles, and also the anime champion. Jody's Corner family, stand up, homie. This is me. I will not be defeated, and I will not lose this belt, nigga. Nobody can stop me. Nobody. Talking to y'all out there too. Y'all can't stop this, boy. My anime knowledge is on point. So if y'all want to see me in the trivia, who wants smoke, anybody can get it. But besides that, you know what I'm saying? Besides being the Thirst King, the anime champion, you know, I'm also Mr. Steal Girl. I'll steal your bitch. Yeah. Hide your girl. Hide her. Now, but today, man, we're going to talk about the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. My God, I just saw that, man. And I got some things I want to talk about that. So let's hit this intro and let's get into it. Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, man. The Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie is here, man. And goddamn, it has arrived and I have seen it. I saw it in subbed. And let me tell you, man, I'm pretty impressed at what they did. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mappa. You know, they out here doing their thing with another great anime, another great movie. Man, they're doing their thing out here, man. You know, they've been picking it up lately. You know what I'm saying? They're taking over One Punch Man. You know what I'm saying? They got Attack on Titans. Mappa's record speaks for itself. But yeah, you know, I saw Jujutsu Kaisen. You know, and if you don't know, it's about Okkotsu. Okkotsu was the Jujutsu sorcerer. That's a second year in the first season. You know, this year is focusing on him being in his first year when he first arrived at the Jujutsu Kaisen Academy. You know, so it's all right. So Okkotsu, you know, he was one of the characters I was missing from the Sister School event, and he was mentioned by Megumi, who Megumi generally respects. And now, to a certain extent, after getting to know who the guy is, watching his beginning and learning who he is, you learn to respect him. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm sure, like in Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, from the first season, I'm sure he's grown from what we got in this movie. So hopefully we get more of him in season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. So I'm hoping that. You know, this movie was great, but I'm gonna say this now, based off what I got. I don't think they're gonna do it because this is a prequel. But I hope that they do not take this movie, make it episodes for season 2. I don't need that. Like Demon Slayer did it, Dragon Ball Z did it for Dragon Ball Z Super did it for a period of time. They got to stop making these movies into episodes to cover a half a season or a majority of a season. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But I mean, Okkotsu, man, this dude is tight, man. He really grows on you. I thought he was weak, and you know, he's the first year. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something right now, though. You know, based off what I see from Okkotsu, and I'm comparing him to Itadori, Okkotsu is better. Itadori is not the only character that's special. Okkotsu is very special. So I see why they gave him his own movie, and I think they're gonna utilize him a lot more in this movie. I mean, I'm sorry, in the second season. I apologize. So, with that being said, you know, we find a lot out about Okkotsu. You know, he has a curse. You know, that was the premise of the movie. He has a curse, and basically his curse is his childhood friend Rika, who's like this powerful. She dies by a car accident after she gives him like a promise ring and all that shit. You know, they promise they're gonna get married and all that, which is cool. And she's like ugly as shit as a demon. I mean, as a curse, sorry. But damn, man. Damn, is she strong, bro. She was protecting this nigga. She was holding this nigga's hand through pretty much the majority of this movie. You know, you got Okkotsu. You know, he did his thing. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. You know, he eventually developed some sword skills. You know, you get to see his development with a few characters actually in the thing. Characters we're familiar with Maki Zenin. Whew, man, she bad, bro. I'm sorry, dog. There was a point where her and Okkotsu they were sparring and shit. And then she did the splits and then bow, just dropped it just like that. She said, bow, dropped it. Dog, them splits. And then that skirt, you didn't see no cheeks. But man, I still wanted to nut. Yeah, I said it. Maki sexy. Yeah, I want her. But yeah, they had their spar. He develops a relationship with Panda as well, and also in Maki, the dude with the voice, the cursed beast voice. Basically, he develops a relationship with them. You get to see how they grew up together, and you can see that he really gained he really built a friendship with these characters. But the protagonist of this movie, it turns out to be Geto, who we're familiar with in the first season. Like, he's been playing a role, but he was trying to be hidden the whole entire time in that first season. Now we get to see, what he's been up to. Well, not what he's been up to, what he was up to before he made the plans to seal Gojo on October 31st. So it turns out Geto basically, he was Gojo's best friend, which was very surprising. I mean, I knew he was a Jujutsu sorcerer, but I had no idea that they were best friends. They threw that in there at the end, so you guys know this is a spoiler discussion. I'm talking about everything. And it was very shocking and very relieving to know that. So Geto, he was Gojo's best friend. He was working things behind the scenes in season 1. But this one, he's known. Like, they know he out there. They know he's causing traffic because he can curse other people. He can steal other people's curses and he utilizes it as his own. Geto's actually pretty cold, bro. But I ain't gonna lie. Based off how they had him in season 1, they made this motherfucker seem like he's strong as shit. I mean, they didn't make him. They don't come off like him as strong as Gojo is. But Gojo, I ain't gonna lie. In this movie, they hold Gojo back. Like, I think we get to see a stronger Gojo in season 1 because we don't get to see his domain expansion, Infinite Void. We don't get to see too much of that. We get to see him fight a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing crazy. But Geto, he's in the works. He's basically after Okkotsu's curse because he knows that curse is powerful as shit. And also, with that being said, before I go on forward, that curse is so powerful that even the higher ups of Jujutsu sorcerers, like Gojo had to report to him. We finally got to see a glimpse of their little court. I guess you could say. Basically, they wanted Okkotsu dead, just like they wanted Itadori dead because Itadori had Sukuna, but Gojo, he goes against them, and who gonna tell that nigga no? Because nobody can fade him. Like, who gonna tell Gojo no? Like, come on now, bro. Gojo even said he'll murder everybody if he could murder every fucking body and create his own school, but he said nobody would follow him. But enough what he said. But they were gonna kill Okkotsu just the same as Itadori. But Gojo has his own way of seeing things, and things ended up working out. But yeah. But before that, so basically Geto wanted his curse, and with that being said, Geto, with that curse, he'll be unstoppable. He'd probably be on par with Gojo if I had to guess. But for what I've seen from Geto in the show, this dude, he's not ready. He ain't ready to face Gojo. He ain't ready. He ain't ready at all. Like, I'm sorry, bro, because like they were intentionally holding Gojo back. They were keeping him from fighting to his full potential. That's why they focused. All right. So basically, Geto ended up setting up a war, and basically every Jujutsu sorcerer was in the city. The majority of them, like I want to say like 90% of them, were pretty much in the city, and then a bunch of curses were released, and they were fighting. So this goes back to the narrative in the first season when they were talking about how short they were on Jujutsu sorcerers. Now this is all a year before that. Now it makes sense why they're short on sorcerers. It's because of this war. A lot of sorcerers end up dying, getting killed, and you get to see a lot of sorcerers. You know what I'm saying? You get to see a lot of them. You get to see a bunch of new faces, old faces. You get to see Todo, Mekamaru, all of them. All of them are there fighting. You get to see glimpses of them because Todo. He became a first grade or special first grade. I think because of that battle. You got to kind of see the concept of how it started. Because Todo always did his own thing. He's a fan favorite. One of the fan favorites. But, yeah, so that's basically why. So they were holding Gojo back. Geto was at the school. He basically ended up fighting Okkotsu one-on-one. Him and his demon Rika. And, without Rika, pretty much Okkotsu ain't shit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, he's tight. His sword skill is tight, but he ain't shit. Rika is that bitch, bro. I'm sorry. She's that bitch. She's tight. I liked her. I was like, man, this is his power. She did everything. A curse that did everything he said because she loved him that much, and he loved her just the same. But you could tell there was more from her the majority of the movie, and she did. She was willing to kill Maki because she felt like he was having feelings for her, which is fire. I love that. You know, it was beautiful. Like, I was like, man, she may be a curse, but man, that love and connection, that shit was actually real to me. I felt that. I felt that for real. You know, so Okkotsu, he's a very kind, very good character, man. And at the same time, he came badass, man. He grew on me a lot. You know, I thought he was gonna be sissified, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this is what we getting? Are we getting a wuss? Like, what the hell's going on? Like, you know, basically what he was like Ippo from Hajime no Ippo. He's basically like him. Like, you know, he was shy, you know, weak, scared, and then, you know, learn how to face his fears in battle. He's just like that. You know, I go, like, you don't get too many anime characters that scared. Well, you get Suna from whatchamacallit, what's the anime called? Hitman Reborn. You know, you got characters like that. But overall, man, this movie had a lot of elements, you know, that I enjoyed to it. You know, especially with the fighting, the animation, the action. You know how it goes. It was great. It's not. Now I'm going to say this now. It's not better than Demon Slayer. It's not. Because at the end of the day, I felt like we didn't really need this movie. We didn't really need it. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It was necessary, but we didn't need it to go into season 2. You could have introduced the majority of these characters in the second season and just had a couple flashbacks, you know, and just, you know, little small explanations, you know. But at the same time, I wouldn't say that's a waste of a season, because who knows what they're gonna do. Like I said, they could possibly make this movie and break it down into episodes and call it the second season. Like, nah, I don't want that. But I'm just saying. But, you know, we didn't need it. But it was nice. It was very nice, and it was nice to see a blast from the past. And, you know, and a lot of things came together that was from the narrative of that first season to the second. So everything just came together. So, you know, it's okay if you watch the movie first before you watch the second season. I mean, the first season, and before the actual first season. But I suggest you still watch the first season, because it brings you in. You know, it gives you a better understanding, and then basically the movie just picks up pieces and finishes off the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? You got the majority of a puzzle done, and then it starts putting pieces together, and then you just got a couple more to add to it. So, you know, it's all good. You know, so basically, Geto ends up dying, basically. I guess Gojo's the one who finished him off. So basically, you know, after his battle with Okkotsu, you know, Okkotsu ends up basically giving himself, telling Rika, like, hey, I love you, which is just beautiful as hell, and was like, hey, bruh, like, I love you, like, but it's gonna be my last battle. You can have me. All I want to do is take him out. She accepted. She kind of like evolved a little bit. She, boom, you know, taking off, and she, you know, they end up being Geto. He ends up losing an arm, bleeding off in the alley. Now, this is the kicker. So it turns out that Rika was not just a curse that was placed on him. It turns out Okkotsu cursed her, and he did not know it. That was the whole twist. That was the biggest twist of this movie, what made me like, oh shit, like damn, like, oh shit. So how did he curse her? Turns out he is an apparition. Like, he's basically a curse himself. Like, I kind of missed it because, you know, it's Japanese and it kind of happened too fast. I couldn't read it that fast. I kind of missed out on it. But it turns out he's an apparition, and I guess it's basically his bloodline has apparition blood in him. Basically, I guess you could say that. And you know, so basically, you know, he basically apologized. He felt bad for cursing her. Like, he didn't know he did it, but everybody thought she cursed him because of that ring. But nah, it was just the opposite. Because it made sense too. It made sense because she was the one that was protecting him, and she was happy. He was sad about it, but she was happy that she got to spend all that time with him, and she was happy to let him go, which was very, very heartwarming. And I was just like, okay, tight. So now, you know, I really want more Okkotsu. I want to see his growth. I see why they kept him out of the sister school. He is the special grade. From what I've seen, he's strong as shit. I don't think he's stronger than Maki, but I don't know how strong he's going to be without Rika now. That's the question. But a year has passed. We see a lot of growth from characters. Within months to the span of a year. We've seen how fast Itadori grew. We've seen how fast Megumi grew. From the beginning to the end, with his domain expansion. We've seen a lot of characters grow real fast and learn new things. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sure within that year, he's learned to live without Rika, and I'm sure he's going to be stronger for season 2 once we get introduced to him. There's also a third character, another Jujutsu sorcerer who they did not show in the movie, who they didn't mention actually. I think he's a year above them, so I'm assuming he'll be a third year this year, along with Toto. I forgot his damn name, but it was Okkotsu and is another character. It's not coming to me, but they're basically the 2 characters I was missing. Now we need to be introduced to one more sorcerer that has been on my list too. So which is great. But back to Geto and Gojo. Gojo ends up killing Geto, finding him in the alley. So basically, you don't get to see him kill him, but you hear him like supposed to be dying. So now it makes sense why. So I guess Geto was supposedly dead, and now he's still alive, which I'm sure they're gonna bring that narrative into the second season, and that's why he's been trying to keep his distance from the sorcerers, because if they know who he is, they're gonna know his plan. He's planning all this thing. We already know he's planning things behind the scenes, using the other curses, as basically puppets. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what it is Geto necessarily wants. I know he wants Sukuna on the side. He wants the fingers, but with Geto now, it's got to be other motives now. Like he has a ulterior motive. You know what I'm saying? He knows Gojo's a problem, and he knows he can't stop him. But I feel like they're gonna actually succeed in sealing Gojo in the second season, if it happens in the second season. But I'm sure it's gonna happen. You get Gojo out the way, it's open season on sorcerers, dog. Especially since they're short-handed. But so Geto, he's playing these huge roles behind the scenes in the second season. He's more active, more open in this season. So I'm looking forward to him. But if he's the main villain overall, I know we got Sukuna still, but like if Sukuna's gonna be that dude. Like, because I'm sorry, I can't see Geto carrying the rest of this show. I'm sorry, bro. I don't see it. I don't see it. But at the same time, Sukuna, I don't see him siding with Geto right now. Because Sukuna has his own motives. He wants his fingers, of course, and he made this pact with Itadori that we still don't know about. I mean, they said that he was gonna change with him for a minute, blah 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 blah, but then again, and Itadori wasn't gonna remember it. But I'm just sitting there like, okay, they still made some type of pact, and the narrative, the motive might have changed. He might have been like, look, I get your body for this long now, since you want to be a smartass, we're gonna fight to the death, blah blah blah. It could have been something else. But it's cool though. It's cool. It's not that big of a deal. But Sukuna, I don't see him signing with Geto, especially since he wants Megabeat. And Geto, he has his own reason, he has his own motives, which I'm still not clear. Maybe I need to rewatch season 1 to maybe get a better understanding. I just remember Gojo will be sealed October 31st, which is big, which is freaking huge. So yeah, the Jujutsu Kaisen movie was great, man. Overall, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna give this a nice B-, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I gave it a nice B-. It was not Demon Slayer. You know what? I'll give it a solid a solid B. Just B off the top, because I'm thinking about certain elements that I saw and a lot of action that I saw, and that's what saves it. This action really does save it. It's actually not boring. It's not boring. It's not a boring movie if you're coming into it straight off season 1. I mean, if you watch season 1, like, it's not a boring movie. It's like they did a really good job, explaining everything. Yeah, there was a couple of date skips, with all that, but you don't want to waste too much time with that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But yeah, this movie gets a B+, man. I loved it. Shout out to Okkotsu, bro. I need more from you, bro. They still holding Gojo back, but they gonna do him some justice. They gonna give him one huge moment before I think Gojo's gonna die eventually, and I feel like they're gonna hook him up. But also I'm gonna say Itachi. I remember somebody told me this. Itachi versus Gojo. I got my money on Itachi, because based on what I've seen in the movie, it's still Itachi. I'm just saying, that's just some Naruto fan shit. But I'm just saying. But man, this has been a great review, man. I suggest you guys go check out this movie. Watch season 1 first. My suggestion first, before you go see this movie. It's gonna be in theaters for a little bit. Go check it out. I think I might go see it again, but I'm gonna see it in dub. But anyway, I'm the Virgo King, aka the Thirst King, aka the Anime Champion, aka Mr. Steal Your Girl, and I'm out this. Peace. Deuces.